Have you ever stopped to think about how just one single idea, one little spiritual verse could ripple out and completely shape an entire culture? I'm talking about the names people use, the calendar they follow, even how they say hello. Well, that's exactly what we're going to get into today.
But first, let me ask you something. What if your name wasn't just, a label? What if it was an aspiration, something you were reminded of and striving to become every single day?
You see, for this one global community, the people of Baha, names like glory, beauty, and majesty aren't just pretty words. They're woven right into the fabric of who they are. It's a core part of their spiritual identity. So the big question is, where did this incredible idea even come from? Okay, let's dive in. Our story kicks off in 19th century Persia with this amazing prophetic figure known as the Bab. Now, his name literally means the gate, and that's not just a title. It's this powerful metaphor, right? A gate is never the end of the journey. It's what you pass through to get somewhere new. And that's exactly how he saw his mission, opening a gate to a whole new chapter for humanity. So in his most important work, a book called the Bayan, the Bab introduces a ton of new teachings. But there was this one law that would plant the seed for a huge cultural shift. And here it is. This is the verse that started the whole thing. The Bab says, God has permitted his servants to name themselves with names that signify him. Now listen to that word, permitted. That's the key. It wasn't a command. It was an invitation. It's like a door that was previously locked was suddenly swung wide open. To really get how revolutionary this was, you have to understand the context. In a lot of religious traditions, the names of God were, well, for God alone. Using one for a person could be seen as totally out of line, but the Bab just reframes the whole thing. He's saying it's not about claiming to be God. It's about striving to embody those divine qualities. It's about turning your name from a simple label into a lifelong aspiration. So the Bab's mission was incredibly intense but relatively short, and all throughout he was preparing people for a successor, someone he called He Whom God Shall Make Manifest. And sure enough, just as he predicted, not long after the Bayan was revealed, that figure arrived on the scene. And that figure was Bahá'u'lláh. Get this, his name itself means the glory of God. He's the central figure of the Baha'i faith, and his very name, Baha, which means glory, is considered the greatest name for our time. His whole mission really became the ultimate fulfillment of what the Bab started. So you can see this beautiful evolution taking place. The Bab opens the gate with this general permission to use God's names. Then Baha'u'lláh walks through that gate and focuses the mission on one specific attribute, reflecting God's glory, Ba, in all its forms, beauty, justice, majesty, out into the world. Okay, so let's zoom out. Let's really look at how this one verse, this single spiritual permission, just blossomed into an entire vibrant culture. And the influence runs so deep, it's pretty amazing. It starts with your personal identity, right? Your name becomes your goal. But then it actually shapes how they experience time. Their calendar has 19 months, and each one is named after an attribute of God, like splendor or knowledge. It even affects how people interact, with greetings based on God's glory. And it sanctifies everyday life. The idea is to mention a name of God over anything you use, turning something ordinary into something sacred. And this core idea just keeps branching out. Work you do in a spirit of service, that's seen as worship. The money you earn, it's not just yours, it's a trust from God, and it's purified through a spiritual law. There's a daily practice of reciting sacred names 95 times. Even just being clean and refined is seen as a way to honor God. It all connects back. Okay, but this brings up a really important question. How can a human being embody divine qualities without, claiming to be divine? Well, the answer is woven throughout all these teachings, and it comes down to one single powerful metaphor. Both the Bab and Baha'u'lláh use this brilliant analogy of a mirror to explain this really delicate relationship between us and God. Baha'u'lláh puts it perfectly. He says that believers are like mirrors. The light they shine with isn't their own. It's a reflection of the sun. And how bright that reflection is depends entirely on the mirror itself, how clean it is, how ready it is to reflect. Let's break this down. So you've got the sun. That's God, this transcendent, unknowable essence. Then you've got the light shining from the sun. Those are God's attributes, glory, justice, love, that we can actually experience. And then there's the mirror. That's us. That's our heart and soul.
So you see, the goal is never to become the sun. That's impossible. The goal is to polish our mirror so we can perfectly reflect its light into the world.
And that brings us right back to the beginning. Taking on one of these divine names isn't just a cultural tradition. It is a deep, spiritual promise. It's a commitment you make every day to polish the mirror of your soul so you can better reflect that one specific, beautiful quality back out into the world.
So it really leaves us with something to think about, doesn't it? The names that define us, whether they were given to us or we chose them ourselves, what reality are they reflecting? What aspiration do they represent to the world around us?